there's a new master plan. And I think there's a lot of good news in that, because the new master plan, I think, is excellent. It's going to be all about hybrid vehicles, and we're being told hybrid vehicles, but I can tell you most certainly a whole lot of plugins, which I love because you get the benefit of an electric vehicle most of the time, and you can still drive very long distances without having to pull over and plug in. You just use the gas engine in those cases. So Ford's future plans are failing. And it's all good for us consumers and buyers. The new plan is a whole lot better for us. Let's talk about that here. And by us, I mean buyers and consumers. What was Ford's plan? Where is it going? Well, the photo here gives a really good indication. So if you like reading, please continue to watch the show, but you can read this later. Road and Track, really good article. We'll go a little more in depth, I believe, because we'll talk a little bit more about the history, what the plan was, and what it's going to be. But the plan really was a full-out switch to electric vehicles. There were rumors that the Ford Escape was getting cut. There are official rumors, not just rumors, but it's no longer rumor. The Edge, Ford Edge, is getting cut, but the Escape getting cut was a rumor. Ford was really cutting back on anything that was gasoline powered, and they're going all in on EV and losing billions every year doing so. We were supposed to get a Ford F-150 Lightning, a new, drastically changed, considering, monumental changes coming to the Lightning, and that was going to be for 2025. And now that's been delayed by 18 months. So it's going to be changes for now for 2027. And in the meantime, for a while, we were pretty worried. At the Oakville plant, it looked like people wouldn't have anything to do, that they'd be laid off for a couple of years. But now the Oakville plant is actually going to be making Super Duty vehicles, which is great because we need more Super Duty vehicles. They're selling like hotcakes. We don't have enough inventory, and inventory needs to go up on the Super Duty. And Ford was cutting everything out. They're going to come out with a three-row, that's a 6 or 7-seater SUV. They're cutting out the Ford Explorer. Bye-bye Explorer. Bye-bye Aviator. But they're essentially, a lot of these models were going to be coming back as full electric vehicles. But us buyers and consumers, we want a vehicle that can do it all. Even if we hope to be able to go on vacation more than once a year. And it's tough in this current state. Inflation, prices high, pay not going up at the same pace as inflation. It's hard out there. But the plan was all these electric vehicles would come in. 3-row SUV, new electric truck, major changes to the Lightning. Huge, monumental, according to Jim Farley, CEO of Ford. But now that's been pushed to 2027 for the Lightning. The 3-row electric SUV has been cut. So who knows what's going on with the Explorer? Will they still use the name? But a lot is in the air right now. So on August 21st, Ford announced a major rework of its future EV plans. Yeah, that's Road and Track. Thank you very much. That's well said. So the T3 electric pickup truck model, though, that got its delay as well, because from Ford, you can expect, it was looking like we were going to get another full-size electric truck. So we've got a delay there. But what is actually interesting is there are still plans for an electric mid-size truck. So something Ranger or Toyota Tacoma sized. We're still looking at getting an all-electric version of that. But the Lightning, with its monumental changes, getting pushed back to 2027. The Oakville plant will no longer build it. They're going to do Super Duties. So bread and butter of Ford. And what are we going to be getting? We're going to be getting a lot of hybrid vehicles, a lot of plug-in vehicles. So while the Escape, 2026 Escape, is getting cut. So let's switch over quickly to that story to help cover what's going on here. But the Escape here, it is getting cut. And we don't know if Ford will reuse the same name, but probably the full gasoline version of the Escape is going to get cut. Will the Escape use the same name, or will they come down with a new name? But we're going to have something similar in size, and instead of original plan being all electric, and you have your restrictions, you can't, if you want to drive from Canada to Florida for your vacation, you'd have to stop. With my F-150 Lightning that I don't have anymore, I would have had to have stopped about 13 to 16 times. This will come back in some form as a plug-in hybrid. Now, for now, Ford is only saying a hybrid, but it can't come back as just a hybrid with current hybrid technologies, because you're going to get fined, essentially, or directly or indirectly fined billions of dollars from the government for not meeting your overall fleet average of, incredible, mind-blowing fuel economy. What is unfortunate with this segment is currently the plug-in Escape does a great job. Most buyers, 99% of the time, they just bought an all-electric vehicle. But that's not how the government counts it. They essentially will look at whether it's 150 or around the 150 kilometer mark and say, what kind of gas, what kind of mileage does it get over this really long distance? Well, the problem is that with its current battery, 14.4 kilowatts, it gets 61 kilometers, or about 45 miles of all-electric driving. So it doesn't count as an electric vehicle. And with all those trucks that Ford and Ram and GM are selling, the overall fuel economy is on the lower end, and they face the risk of being fined billions. It cost Stellantis billions of dollars because Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram aren't up to par, aren't up to snuff when it comes to these interesting manner of calculating fuel economy. So the Escape should be considered an all-electric vehicle. It should allow Ford to sell, for every plug-in Escape they sell, they should be allowed to sell without penalty 4 or 5 F-150s. But it's just not what's going down. So just a regular hybrid, traditional hybrid, where that you don't plug in, won't save Ford from paying out billions of dollars in essentially carbon taxes. So likely this will come back as maybe a different name, maybe the same name, but a plug-in with a bigger battery, but a plug-in hybrid. So you will have to plug it in every so often, but you'll get better range. So they probably need to, to clear and get a low enough overall average based on the current manner of calculating the fuel economy of a vehicle. They probably need to almost double the battery size. They need to get a good 100 or 60 miles out of the battery in all electric mode. So that's what's going down with the Escape. So Ford's plans, huge overhaul, major changes. And this is why, what we're talking about right now, this is why Ford has been willing to lose billions of dollars per year on the Mach-E, on the Lightning, which they lose money when they sell them. Their production costs are higher. Thankfully, Ford is still keeping production in the US, but major changes. We're going to see less EVs, which I'm okay with. I much prefer plugins. I just want that vehicle that's electric to get to work. And on the weekend, if I've got a long distance drive, or if I want to hear a great sounding engine, I want to hear that great sounding engine. I wouldn't even mind if the next Shelby or Mustang GT was a plug-in V8, but I want that V8. So that's what's going down right there with Ford's future plans. We're going to see a lot less electric vehicles than we had expected. Now, Peugeot is saying it's a relatively light battery, and with a simple redesign of the exhaust, it would tuck right in where the current muffler is. So yes, and Peugeot talking about a bigger battery that could be produced. And for the Bronco, also, you could drop in a battery right there and have something that people would be very happy driving. Imagine a Bronco. They'd have to work out the space, but imagine the demand for a 5-liter V8 plug-in Bronco. It's your electric vehicle 99% of the year, but when you step on the pedal and you turn, you hit the button for EV later, meaning your electric vehicle, you want to save the battery for later, but you get that roar of the V8 coming out of your Bronco. Oh, I think there'd be a lot of very happy consumers. I must say I'm really happy with the 2.7 liter in my Bronco, but after driving the Raptor, I always felt it was a little quiet. Now after driving the Raptor, I can say it's a heck of a lot quiet. But then again, my two Porsche older, I'm not a millionaire here, my two older Porsche 911s, both needing some mechanical work, but they have next to no sound as well. And though, it's a 3.4 liter V6. So that's what's going on. We're going to now switch into the next episode on the show here. We're going to be talking about, I was going to talk about the 2025 Bronco Sport, but I was asked by M. Peugeot, and after he tipped me, I can't say no to him. So we're going to talk about Ford Bronco F-150 Edge Nautilus recall, because that's part of the Bronco news we have tonight. And then we're going to be talking about the 2025 Bronco. So let's start actually with the 2025 Bronco and Ford Ranger power increase. So just got to mark it off so I don't get too confused, because now I'm all over the place. If you haven't already done so, a little over 85% of our viewers are actually non-subscribers. So please subscribe, turn the bell notification on, join us here, become a permanent member, because we need your support and we want to hear your comments in the chat. We've got a great community, really good, friendly people helping each other out. And let's jump into the 2025 Ford Bronco news, not the sport. We'll get back to that just after